Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install this really cool Rotorflight Dashboard for EdgeTX. Before we get started, I want to say thanks to Offer Shmuely and VenbS. Those are the gentlemen responsible for writing the software that we're about to cover. So what we're looking at here is a set of scripts and widgets that communicate with Rotorflight to present the information coming from Rotorflight via telemetry. This is based on EdgeTX. It will not work on black and white radios. You'll need a color radio screen for this because only color screens support these types of widgets. Let's take a tour of what this dashboard provides. There are a couple of different layout options you can choose from. I chose option 3. I'll show you how to choose the others when we do the install. Up top, you've got the timer, and then right next to that is your head speed. And then there are a couple of circular graphs that show current. This is from your ESC, of course, throttle percentage, and temperature. And then down here at the bottom, there's your battery capacity. It starts off at 100%. Now, notice that I'm slightly lower than peak. This is 6-cell battery. So you want to charge your battery to peak. And when you do that, it'll say, okay, 100% at 25.2 volts, for example. Okay, and then it'll work its way down from there. But I didn't charge my battery to peak for the demo. And then you also have indicators for profile, rate, and battery. Right now, this says bank. I had a conversation with Offer about this, and I suggested that instead of saying bank, because that is not a vernacular used in Rotorflight, it's actually profile, that the label should say profile. And then rate is matched up with rates. And the last one is BAT. This says BAT1. This is not yet implemented, so you'll have to wait for a future release before that's actually active, but for now we'll consider it a placeholder. On the right-hand side, there's a little box here, and you'll notice it says RAW 420 and has an image of my RAW 420 helicopter. That RAW 420 comes from the craft name in Rotorflight. So this is actually something you put in Rotorflight, and the widget and scripts pull the information into the radio and use that label here. Additionally, the image that you see is in my images folder on the radio itself, and it's named RAW 420. .png. So if the script sees an image in your images directory that matches the craft name from Rotorflight, it'll display that image here for you. Very trick feature. Along the bottom, there's radio information. I'm using Express LRS, and we see RQLY at 49%. We see T-Power Plus. This is the maximum value of transmission power at 250. There's a throttle plus percentage here. And then, of course, attribution down here on the right for VenbS and Shmuely. Now, a couple of quick reminders before you get started. I'm on the latest version of everything. I've got Rotorflight 4.4.1 on my helicopter. I've got EdgeTX 2.11.0 on my radio, and I'll be downloading the Rotorflight Touch Suite in just a moment. I'll show you how to do that. But before you touch your radio, you really need to make sure you back everything up. It is a big mistake if you don't do that first, and you could potentially be very sorry. So in order to back things up, all you've got to do is connect your USB-C cable to the top of your radio, and then click on USB storage. And then on your computer, you should be presented with a folder that has your SD card contents for your radio. Mine is labeled TX16S. That's the name I gave the SD card. And all you have to do to back it up is just grab all the files, Command A, just like that, and drop them into a folder on your computer where you can remember how to find them. That's all you've got to do. Drop them in there, let it rip, create a backup of your radio, and then if anything goes wrong, all you have to do is erase the contents of your SD card and then take a copy of this backup that you just made and drop it on your SD card, and you'll be right back where you started. The next thing you'll do is retrieve the scripts and widgets from Offer Shmuely's GitHub, and there'll be a link in the description on where to find that. But scroll down here to the right where it says 2.2.5 latest under this release section over here. So just click on that, and then you can scroll down and you'll see right here under Assets, RF2-Touch Suite EdgeTX 2.2.5.zip. After you've downloaded the software, you can put your web browser away. We don't need that anymore. And then open up your downloads folder and unzip the archive you just downloaded. When you do that, you'll be presented with two folders, one called scripts and one called widgets. You'll also notice on your SD card on your radio, you have a folder called scripts and one called widgets. What we're going to do is copy scripts and widgets over to the SD card. And we're going to, on a Mac, you need to merge those files. On a Windows computer, you don't need to do anything. It'll just automatically figure out and write the correct files to the SD card. So I'm going to highlight these two folders on the download side, and I'm going to drag them over to my SD card, and I'm going to let them go. Notice the option says merge. I'm going to hit apply to all and click merge. And that will update my SD card with all of the contents we need for the dashboard to work. Now that we've backed up our SD card and added the scripts and widgets to the SD card, we can put the computer away and we'll focus now on the radio. For those of you who have been using Rotorflight for a while, if you've been using the Rotorflight 2 TLM script and the Rotorflight 2 BG script, you need to disable both of those. The scripts that come with the dashboard, they will provide for those functions. You no longer need them. So make sure you disable both of those in your radio setup. The next thing we'll do is we're going to add the RF2 server in the menu bar. And the way we'll do that is we'll click on the telemetry button, and then we'll click on this icon right here on the left-hand side to edit our top bar widgets, and we'll hit Setup Widgets. And the only thing you need to do is find an open slot up here. In my case, I'm going to use the one over here on the right, and I'm going to select the widget RF2 server. So we'll just scroll down, and there it is right there, RF2 server at the bottom, and we'll just select that. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we're going to find an open telemetry screen. In my case, I'm using screen number 1. And notice I've turned off flight mode, sliders, trims. You don't need all that stuff. Leave the top bar on. You want to see that. And I also have the layout set to one big screen. So next I'll click Setup Widgets, and I'll just press in the middle of the screen. And we're going to go down and find the RF2 dashboard widget. And that is right here, -2. And I mentioned earlier there's 3 different styles. We'll go through each one of them real quick. And I like to show total voltage, so we'll do that. You can set your max current for your ESC and your max ESC temperature here if you want. And that's it for the options, no other options there. So this will be GUI style number 1. And if we click on that, you can see we've got a little bit of a change. Your bank rate and battery are up here. Your battery voltage is here. Capacity, milliamp hours. Your black box percentage is all there. Your heli name, RPN, time, they're all on the screen, just in a different layout. And don't worry about why the data is not populated. We'll get to that in just a minute. We need to add sensors. So the next thing we'll do is just press the screen once, and that'll bring us to widget settings. And we'll try GUI style number 2. That's less color. And just click somewhere else on the screen, and you can see same layout, but less color. It's not as busy from a color perspective. And I think the idea there is it's more useful or easy to see in bright sunlight. And then if you click one more time and hit widget settings, this is the one I kind of like, and that's the modern one. So I'll select that. And there we go. That's the screen that I started the video with. Now that I've got my widget set up, I'm going to hit the return button and back out of the telemetry page setup. I'll hit it again. Now we're back on the actual main screen. And now I'm going to hit model and go over to the telemetry screen, and I'm going to hit discover new. You need to make sure the helicopter is powered up when you do this, and the scripts will take care of adding the sensors in the correct order. After you discover sensors, you'll see a list of sensors populated on the telemetry screen, starting with the Express LRS sensors first. And then as you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the helicopter sensors coming from Rotorflight. So I've got VBAT, current, milliamp hour consumption, battery percentage, and so on. And don't worry, I'll show you how to turn those sensors on in Rotorflight in just a minute. Now that we've got our sensors working on the radio, they are necessary in order for the dashboard to work. We've got them working on the radio now. I'm going to press the return button. That brings us back to our dashboard, and you can see now we're starting to populate some data. Now if I arm the helicopter, you should see some of these values start to populate. There's my head speed. There's current. Keep in mind the current's really low because I don't have blades on it. Now if I adjust my profile, you'll see this value increase. It's currently labeled bank. That should be relabeled profile. But we'll go ahead and increase that. You can see my head speed increases, and now we're on profile 2. And one more time, head speed increases, we're on profile 3. And then we can also lower that, and we can adjust our rates. And they're shown here, rate 2, and then rate 3. Next, let's connect the helicopter to Rotorflight so you can see what happens on the screen. You see MSP connection is active. That's telling you that the computer is plugged into Rotorflight. And in order to get that to go away, you want to click on the disconnect button on Rotorflight, and that should clear the red box for you. So when you connect Rotorflight, I told you I'd show you the sensor list. Here it is. You click on receiver, and down here on the left-hand side, you want to enable telemetry, and then enable CRSF custom telemetry, and then you can pick the telemetry sensors you want sent to the radio. In my case, here's the list. Go ahead and grab a screenshot of that so you can make your list match mine. Now I've got two little bonus tips for you. The first one is if you long press on the screen and hit full screen, you'll be able to see your PIDs for your helicopter. And if you hit read all PIDs, it'll update those from Rotorflight. And then if you turn this toggle on, it'll show you the remaining banks, 4, 5, and 6, which I don't even have configured. And you can see those for roll, pitch, and yaw. And then if you press return, that exits out of this configuration back to the dashboard. And the next bonus tip I'll show you is if you press the telemetry button and then go to a second screen, pick whatever layout you want and click Setup Widgets, you can add other widgets that will utilize data from Rotorflight from this dashboard. So in this right-hand box, I'm going to scroll down and I'm just going to choose the Rotorflight black box. That's right here. And we'll use the text color of black, that's fine. And you can see when I do that, it shows the black box size and how much is used. And if you click on this box, you can go down and add other Rotorflight widgets as well, including things like your capacity. So if you want to add that, you can, and that will show your battery capacity. And there are a couple others you can play with as well. Make sure you check them out and see if there's something that sparks your interest. There's Rotorflight name, for example. And there's the model name that comes in from the craft name field on Rotorflight. Thanks again to Offer Shmuely and VenbS for putting together this amazing dashboard for EdgeTX and Rotorflight. Just outstanding work on their part. And boy, is it making this radio functional. Very, very nicely done. If you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when new videos hit the channel. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy and go fly something.